great thing going on all this week in Battle Creek. It's United to Be Kind week, and it kind of, it's kind of a takeoff from National Friendship Day, which started, I think, Sunday. And joining us right now to tell us about this program, Tony Iovieno, Senior Director of Resource Development for the United Way. Tony, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here today. And Stephanie Slingerland, Director of Philanthropy and Social Impact at the Kellogg Company. Hi there.
Hello.
Nice to have you here too. And my goodness, this started yesterday over at Full Blast, right? And
Yes.
and so set the scene. There's like 200 or 300 kids running around there for a scheduled camp, kid venture camp.
Yes, that's right. So Full Blast is one of the largest sites in Battle Creek for a summer camp for kids. It's actually one of the sites where Kellogg has been supporting summer hunger programs, as we do across the country. And so it was a perfect opportunity for us to bring this important anti-bullying message to kids right here in Battle Creek.
Boy, the timing of it's pretty good, isn't it? We all could be a little bit more civil and accepting of one another these days. In fact, we just heard the news headlines, people chanting, do something, do something. And really, I think the best thing we could do is just be more tolerant of each other as fellow human beings.
Yeah. And, approximately 20% of students ages 12 to 18 have experienced bullying. And so we think it's really important to bring this message to the kids to help embrace differences, encourage kindness, and accept one another.
That's 1 in 5 kids. And when I hear you say that, the first thing popped in my mind is, I wonder if that's changed since I was in school. I bet it hasn't. I bet it's about the same. I don't know. Are there figures that you're aware of that show whether that bullying is on the rise or on the decline or about the same?
Yeah, I haven't seen any trends to suggest whether it's on the rise or decline, but obviously 1 in 5 kids, that's a pretty significant number of students who are, experiencing this bullying. And so, we really just want to help encourage them to, embrace uniqueness, individuality, and friendship.
Now, this is the second year that Kellogg's Fruit Loops and United Way have gotten together on it. It was kind of a test program last year, right?
That's right. Yeah. So our Fruit Loops brand has a campaign, Whatever Fruits Your Loops. They want to help encourage people to accept their individuality. And so we have worked with United Way here and across the country to, as I mentioned, bring summer hunger support to those communities. So we partnered with United Way here. They helped us identify the sites here and where we thought we'd have a good opportunity to reach kids.
And so yesterday you reached a bunch of them.
We did, yeah, and I think that the age range is perfect for this camp too. So these are kids aged 5 through 12, which again, that stat Stephanie mentioned there, 1 in 5, age 12 over. So this is really helping us reach those kids and engage them prior to kind of when the crux of sort of the bullying that we're seeing in schools happens. So yeah, we had just an awesome time last year. The kids loved it. We've done art projects with them. Toucan Sam from Fruit Loops visited Friday last year and did the Kiki dance, the challenge, and it was a great time.
And yesterday, to recognize National Friendship Day, which I think was a day earlier, Sunday, what were the kids doing over there yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday was kind of a fun kickoff. So we had folks from Fruit Loops in just to talk about what was going to be going on during the week. And then we kind of ran through some situations with the kids as far as how to be a good friend today. Could you do a little differently? Who has a good friend here? They were headed to the zoo that day, so we talked a little bit about how could you be a good friend to the zoo. And the kids came up with just kind of adorable answers of, well, I might see an animal and maybe the smaller kid can't, and so I'll help them see it. And it was awesome.
And were they making necklaces out of Fruit Loops yesterday?
Yeah, Fruit Loops was awesome and sent a bunch of cases of Fruit Loops over, so we'll use those kind of throughout the week. So yeah, we'll do friendship necklaces. Wednesday's kind of the big day where we do a big art project. They really get into that. We kind of let them do sort of whatever they want, sort of in the mode of whatever fruits your loops. The idea is they do an art project about what it means for them to be a good friend or just whatever's on their mind, and it's just all about kind of being yourself, embracing that, doing whatever fruits your loops. And then the Fruit Loops team and us will sit down and we'll kind of pick some winners from those. They'll all be awesome, but we'll pick a couple standouts. And on Friday, we'll then announce that, give the kids some prizes, and let them take pictures with Toucan Sam. And it's just a great day.
There's stuff going on all week long. And how do you work that in among their regular camp activities? Or they just give you certain time slots where you get together with the kids? How does that work?
Yeah, so Nicole Gilmore over at Full Blast, who's kind of overseen that summer camp for a few years now, has been awesome to work with. So every morning the kids kind of trickle in between 8 to 8:30. There's a breakfast served, honestly thanks in part to Kellogg and the work that we've done together at 8:10. It's kind of a grab and go kind of fun thing. The kids then play for a little bit, and then there's kind of a sort of morning announcements that happen around 8:30, and that's where we've kind of stepped in and said, okay, we'll kind of take over that week for the next kind of 30 minutes or so, and that's when we're generally doing most of the activities with the kids.
What's the mood of the kids then? I'm getting from you that they really want to talk about this.
They really do, and honestly, they're really excited. I think they know. I think they were maybe a little apprehensive last year. Who are these people kind of coming in? But I think it's exciting for people from Kellogg to be there. The kids know that. They know Kellogg. They know it's right across the street. They know the cereals. They know the mascots. So it's exciting to see those people and interact with them. I think any positive attention just means the world to some of these kids. And so this year they were just really excited. About half the kids that are in that camp returned from last year. So they kind of had a feel for it. And the other half of the kids, I think, were just excited because the other half of the kids were excited. And it's funny. The first year I was kind of nervous asking questions, and I thought, what if no one says anything back? And like 50 hands go up. And so it's just so fun being there.
Well, that's great. And I think this whole idea of being more accepting of other people, it requires practice and effort. It's not like you can just turn a switch on, or a light bulb goes off. You have to actually put it into practice. And I think maybe, when you're asking kids, what does it mean to be a good friend? Now they start thinking about those things, and now the challenge is to actually take it the next step and do it. Next time they see a friend being bullied, stand up and say, hey, that's not good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Tony's point earlier about, the stat of kids who are ages 12 to 18, but we're at this summer camp reaching kids that are much younger. So hopefully, with some of the learnings that they have from this week, they'll be able to take that as they continue to grow and progress through those grades and be a little bit kinder to their friends. And to your point, discourage that kind of bullying. I think kids this age, are usually a little bit more accepting. They haven't seen some of those behaviors yet. It is a little bit learned as you get older. And so, if we can do something to help, stop that before it starts, then that's what this is all about.
And this last year, it was kind of a pilot program here, and it's expanding this year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we piloted the program here in Battle Creek, as well as with our partners in United Way in Seattle, another place where we have supported summer hunger. This year, we've also expanded it to Detroit. The Fruit Loops brand made an investment in summer hunger and this United to Be Kind program there as well. And so later this month, we'll be over in Detroit celebrating with the kids there.
Talking about United to Be Kind Week activities, Tony Iovieno, Senior Director of Resource Development for the United Way, and Stephanie Slingerland, Director of Philanthropy and Social Impact for the Kellogg Company, are our guests as we talk about this. Stephanie, you mentioned that the breakfast program. How does this all tie in with what you've done for a number of years with the hunger program and this new program?
Yes, absolutely. So as part of our Better Days program, Kellogg has a focus on supporting hunger relief in communities. We have done a lot of work, including with our United Way here, to support breakfast in the classroom, make sure kids get access to breakfast every day. But we know that when school is out, they don't have access to nutritious food. In fact, approximately 14,000 children in our area don't have access to nutritious food every day. And so we've partnered for the last few years volunteers across the country and here in Battle Creek to support summer hunger programs. That includes the one at Full Blast. And last year, as we were talking to the Fruit Loops brand, and they wanted to bring their whatever fruits your loops and message about embracing individuality to people, we said, we've got a pretty captive audience with those kids in our summer hunger programs. They're always looking for fun activities to do at summer hunger sites. And so we partnered with United Way to bring this United to Be Kind message to the kids at the summer hunger sites.
Excellent. We talked a little bit about maybe trends in bullying, and one thing that's got to be, really of concern is the way social media is. Now it's ingrained in every fabric of our society now, and it makes it very easy to be kind of hide in the shadows and say terrible things about other people and gang up on people. Kids probably are quite aware of that when you talk to them, aren't they?
I think for sure. That's something that we'll actually hit on a little bit during this week, as far as who's experienced bullying here, who's been picked on before. And usually when you ask them, has anyone been picked on online before, even kids as young as this are sometimes raising their hand. So we know that's going on. And one thing we're really aware of now, I think more than ever before, is we know the long-term effects of what we would call sort of trauma. So if someone is picked on in a severe way, if they experience childhood trauma from a variety of ways, we know that correlates to sort of negative long-term effects and life outcomes. So it's something we're really keenly aware of, and this fits into, I think, kind of our broader mission, United Way, which is to make sure every person, regardless of zip code, regardless of barriers, is able to realize their full potential. And so this just dovetails nicely into that work as well.
Now, yesterday, as we said, you recognized National Friendship Day, and the kids were making necklaces out of Fruit Loops. And what's on tap for today and the rest of the week?
So today we'll kind of start talking about, so yesterday was really kind of focused around being a good friend and going to the zoo and what can we do to be a good friend today. Today we'll start talking a little bit about bullying and conflict and sort of the differences between those two. So, and encouraging kids of, hey, you might not always agree, right? You might want to play video games and the other person wants to go to the zoo or go outside, and that's okay. And just talk about ways to, okay, how can we still be friends and work together and be good friends despite that. And then as the week kind of progresses, we'll get into, okay, so what is bullying? How do we avoid that? And then trying to provide them tools for when that happens. What can you do? Whether it's something you can do personally, when's the right time to go to an adult? Who should that be? What should the approach be? Just making them feel like they're prepared if they see something happening to sort of be able to cut it off soon.
And you mentioned tomorrow's kind of an art day. What are they going to do?
Tomorrow's honestly probably one of my favorite days. So we'll go in with Kellogg Fruit Loops. One of their employee resource groups will be there as well. The kids are divided up into 5 teams at the camp, at the summer camp, and it's typically by age range. So our volunteers will go in and they'll help them make their art projects. So they have kind of arts and crafts stuff in front of them and just a ton of Fruit Loops. And they just kind of go to town and make kind of, again, whatever fruits their loops. And then our volunteers will also look at those. They'll help encourage the kids. They'll talk to them. And then at the end of the day, we'll kind of look at all those art projects and pick some of our favorites. But it's just a great fun day.
What a perfect cereal Fruit Loops is for creating different types
right.
of. I have this vision in my head of Dick Schlotter's A Lincoln exhibit all in Fruit Loops instead of Lincoln pennies.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things you can do with
Sounds
Fruit
like a
Loops
project
besides just having them for breakfast.
Right, so they'll be creating, and what, the top 5 pieces are going to be displayed over at the headquarters, Kellogg headquarters, right?
Yeah, last year we did take the top art projects and we displayed them at our headquarters during the I think it's the art walk in October.
Oh, okay.
So we are planning to bring those. Our employees love to see the great things that the kids are doing as part of this week. So, not everyone has the opportunity to volunteer and get over there this week to help out. So we can bring a little bit of that back to our building so people can see the cool things that the kids are doing and feel part of it as well.
Thursday they're going to make friendship medals. What are those?
So again, it's just always kind of encouraging kids to do whatever fruits their loops and make whatever they think that is. So we'll provide them with some materials.
Okay.
It's really interesting to see sometimes what they come up with. But again, it's just celebrating, hey, you've learned a lot this week. Hopefully they've done one or two things. We'll talk about, hey, what did you do this week to be a good friend? So they'll get recognized for that and just kind of be able to wear their medals and say, hey, look what I did this week.
And then Friday, the grand finale. What's on tap for Friday?
Toucan Sam will be making an appearance.
Big deal.
Last year he did some fun dances with the kids, so I'm sure he'll be enjoying that again, and the kids loved it and really got into it. But just really a recap of the week and celebrating everything we've learned and experienced, and continuing to encourage friendship so that next week they continue to put into practice some of the things they learned this week.
I really love it, and giving kids the idea that they can do things maybe a little differently than what maybe they see their brothers and sisters doing, and maybe we'll make a difference here a few years down the road.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's our great hope. United to be kind, and we really appreciate the efforts of our United Way and our Kellogg Company. Tony, Stephanie, thanks very much for joining us this morning here on WBCK.